Hi guys, welcome to another video from Overbite Gaming, and today we're taking a look, a quick first impression video at 7 Days to Die version 1.0. So it's finally coming out of alpha, although this is technically, I guess, the beta, because it's an unstable alpha, basically. So what that is, it's not available unless you opt into it on Steam, which you can go to by going to Game Properties, and then you can go down and opt into whatever alpha or beta you wish. It is primarily what we're going to see at full release, which should be occurring relatively soon. I believe it's next month in July. And I'm having a blast with it. I am playing it vanilla. The footage you see is all vanilla, no mods or anything. I am missing some of them, like zombie life bars and wireless crafting, stuff like that. But it has saved me from accidentally using steel. So there you go. I think there is a bug in it. I'm having difficulty with ladders sometimes. Jumping onto a ladder doesn't seem to work all of the time. I think that was a problem back in Alpha 19 that seems to have reared its ugly head again. They sorted it out then, so hopefully they'll sort it out now. I have heard some people say that it's holding down the spacebar that causes you to immediately detach, so just try tapping it. So there you go, try that. I'm not sure if that worked. I haven't had a chance to play the game since I read that. So there you go. So new things, lots of new things. Well, let me give you a brief rundown of 7 Days to Die if you're not familiar with it, very briefly. It's a survival crafting game based on voxels, so you can build stuff, destroy stuff, and obviously you're in a zombie infested world. The game takes its name from the Blood Moon event, which happens defaultly every 7 days, in which case the zombies and wild infected animals will attack you en masse, and you have to build a base to defend yourself, otherwise you'll get quickly overwhelmed. And that is, in a nutshell, it is set in Navezgane, Arizona, not California, is its default world. You can generate random worlds. I'm playing on Navezgane just so I know where everything is, although it's been changed up a little bit. So the changes, I think, are mostly for the better. There's a few I'm not so keen on. Obviously the introduction of the ladder bug is one of them. But I haven't played it since yesterday, and I did patch when I booted Steam today, so it's possible that they have already updated that. So first of all, obviously the big selling point of the new version is the armor sets. So before you got armor and clothing, now you just get armor. The armor itself is very sort of sorted into sets, like you'll have preacher, nomad, assassin, stuff like that. Each different piece of armor, of which there's 4, will give you different buffs depending on which one it is, and the level of it will increase the strength of the buff. And if you garb yourself entirely in one set, it will give you an additional benefit. A lot of them seem to be, like, the buffs are really good on some of them, and quite honestly, I don't think the set bonuses are particularly good enough that I wouldn't choose mixing and matching, because some are insane. Like Preacher Gloves, you can get up to like 30% additional damage to the undead, which is obviously really helpful. So there's that. Legendary items no longer found in the world or from the traders. You have to craft them, and you do this by finding legendary parts. It's the only way you can get them. Previously you couldn't craft legendary items, now it's the only way you can get them. But as I said, you need a legendary part, and obviously you have to have unlocked legendary item to be craftable in the first place. So that's interesting, and those parts are switchable between both armor and guns and tools and basically anything you could get at item level 1. I have noticed, it seemed, I mean, this footage you are seeing, I did max out the XP progression and the loot as well, because obviously I wanted to play as much as I could and get as deep as I could before making my first impressions video. That's why I've done that. And also, it makes me feel like a boss when I'm leveling up all the time. I have gone through one Horde Night. It's very similar. I don't really see much changes with Horde Night at all, if I'm honest. The building, I don't know whether it's just me. This could be entirely just me being an idiot. I don't think the tolerances were as forgiving. And so I built a stilt home base. I thought, well, I'll do a stilt one. I normally do it on ground floor, but I'll do a stilt one, whatever. And then I went to put a roof on it. And the roof collapsed and took out the ground floor. This was like day 4. And obviously I'd make a lot of progression because of how my XP and loot was. So I literally got a forge, a workbench, 2 dew collectors, like 12 boxes full of good shit, and lost everything. Had to start entirely over again, which is annoying. And it's the sort of thing that makes you throw up your hands and go, well, I'm not playing this for a couple of days. But I had no choice, so I got back on with it, and I'm pretty much back where I am, but I built my base on the ground. But I don't know whether that was just my sheer imbecility or whether or not it was they've lowered the sort of tolerances. But I did build an elevated base for my Horde base, and it seemed fine. So they are putting out tiny little patches every single day, so I don't know whether one of those fixed it or whether it was just me being a knob. Chances are it's the latter, in all honesty. The zombies have new skins. Some of them have entirely new skins and look better. Others they basically have new clothing options, which generally are just like palette swaps. But it's still nice to get a bit of variety in the zombies. Makes it feel a bit more of a horde when there's some variety there, rather than just like 5 Steves and a Big Mama. You know what I mean? Which is fine. I mean, I've been playing this long enough. I mean, I've got like, I think 800 hours on Steam and like 300 on Game Pass, so I've been playing it enough that I could do with a change, basically. The vehicles have now also seen upgrades, and their mods will show on them physically, which is lovely. I love when that happens. Nothing annoys me more than when you change something in your character or your vehicle and you don't get to see it, and it just gives you like plus 5% this, and you're just like, well, whatever. So that's a really good improvement. The traders have changed quite significantly. I'm not sure about this one, lads. I can see why they did it, but so one of the complaints you hear a lot is like, well, I get like to the point where I'm basically untouchable, even in tier 6 infesteds, pretty quickly. So they've tried to slow progression down in this. Obviously, it's not working for me because I've got everything accelerated. But if I was playing it normally, then yeah. As a result of this, you no longer get like weapons from the traders for job rewards, stuff like that. The amount of dukes that you get is ridiculously small compared to what it used to be, and you have to do more jobs in order to level up your tier, your mission tier. It does do you the service of showing how many points you have to get to the next tier, and the various tiers are worth the same in points. So tier 1's a 1, 2 and 2, so on. So you are always aware of how close you are now, which is nice. The jobs themselves haven't really been changed. The first job is always a sort of tutorial buried supplies job that you have to do as your first quest. Your first trade will always be wrecked. At least on Naviscan. I'm not sure about Random Worlds, haven't played that yet. But they've basically locked the traders to the various biomes, so wrecked will always be in the pine forest, gem will always be in the burn forest, so on and so forth. I don't know how I feel about that. I mean, I was always like, my first trade was always Trader Joel, 999% of the time. So now it's wrecked, and he's just a miserable old bastard, so nobody likes you wrecked. Fuck off. Dew collectors have been changed. They are a lot easier to get in early game because they don't require a water filter anymore, which is really nice. They will produce murky water, however, but they do have 3 enhancement slots now, which you can pick up from the trader. So it's a tarp, which increases the amount you actually get. So instead of 1 jar of murky water in each one, you'll get 2, which is nice. A collector, which will increase the rate at which it fills the jars. And finally the water filter, which means it will be producing regular water rather than murky water. So that's all well and good. The roads have been changed as well. There's new decals for them, and they've added a lovely touch in the fact that if you get a buried supplies job and it's underneath a road now, before you'd be like, shit, You'd have to smack your way through the tarmac and then get through. Yeah. Pain in the ass, right? Now, what it does is, as soon as you activate the quest marker, it ensures that everything within that circle is dirt, so you can just dig it up, which is beautiful. Saves me a whole lot of frustration. Love it. Outside of that, it's a lot of the same sort of deal, to be honest with you. I mean, I am enjoying it. The changes are there. There's a lot of new POIs, but a lot of them are like hard tier. I haven't seen too many new ones, to be honest. I think I've done maybe one new one that I wasn't aware of, and immediately fell through the floor like twice in a row. Like they're getting sneaky with their POI designs, mate, no doubt about that. Oh boy. The zombies are also a lot tankier. They've increased the health on the zombies quite a lot. Be aware of that if you're playing on like stupid difficulty. Was it insane? I think the top end is, like I've ever seen that. Yeah, right. The zombies have had their health increased massively. Some by like significant amounts, like radiated whites. Is it whites? It's whites. They've had a stupid amount of health put on them, and they were already pretty damn tanky, so especially if you didn't have a rad remover. So that's one to watch out for. I am enjoying it. I've played probably about 12 hours, which isn't bad going, seeing as I have a job, and it only came out about 6 p.m. on Monday for me in this country, so I've been playing it sort of every spare moment I've gotten since then, which I'm recording this on a Thursday, and I spent last night with my wife, so pretty much 2 days. But I put in a lot of hours. I mean, I'm loving it, to be honest with you. I mean, I love 7 Days to Die anyway. I mean, I actually tried the console version, which was like what, Alpha 14, I think. So it's way old, because obviously that was published by Telltale, and they severed the licensing agreement since Telltale went sort of toes up, and that meant the console versions basically didn't get patched from that point on, which is a shame for the console players. They are offering a 25% discount for purchasing the new version, though, when that goes live. They are planning, I think it's end of July as well, but that's tentative. And console has a lot more hoops to jump through. You need to be signed off by Microsoft and Sony. So I kind of doubt that one. I mean, they were spot on with the Unstable release, which is what I'm playing. So I don't know. Hopefully it will all be out for everybody, and you can play it on your platform of choice, because it's a great game and I love it. But now, I've seen some videos, like Guns, Nerds and Steel. I think that's it. GNS, there we go. I'll just do that, then I'll be accurate. He did a quick sort of breakdown of the performance and said it didn't actually perform as well as the previous alpha. I don't know whether that was because he was playing it during the streamer weekend. They've done a bit of optimization, but I'm finding it to be the other way around. So I don't know what to say. I mean, the figures are on screen. They usually get pretty good. They didn't seem to drop that much during Horde Night, but I wasn't over ambitious with the amount of zombies, because I didn't know what Horde Night would be like on version 1.0. So I thought I'd take it easy on the first one, just in case they did something stupid like absolutely muller me. But I did okay. It was fine. I just did my standard box on stilts with a long walkway in front of it and a couple of hatches to stop them getting in, and a ramp shape above the door to make sure they slide off rather than up onto the roof, so that sort of thing. And it went absolutely fine. I managed to melee through most of it using my tier 1 club. Yeah, I can't make up my mind what I want to put the skill points into for offences, so I'm just like doing shit that I need, like motherload and all that. Anyway, that's one thing that I did fuck up though, and this is entirely my fault, is I put down the start of like the walkway. So I was like, oh yeah. And by the time I got to the point where I wanted to build the house, it was basically inside a hill. I had to dig the entire hill out and then make sure there was enough room around it that the zombies couldn't knock at my back door. That was highly annoying. So before you start making things fucking proper wood and cobblestone, make sure your endpoint is where you want it to be. Jesus Christ. I only had to move it like fucking 12 blocks sideways and would have been alright. Oh well, and that's me being an idiot as per usual. But yeah, I'm super enjoying it. I don't know how I feel about the removal of clothing. I kind of like the fact it gave you a bit more sort of variety in what you look like, but then again you have more armor types now, so I don't know. And also the mining helmet visually has a helmet light on. Doesn't have a helmet light with it though. Bad form. Why you tease me like that? I'd wait a while to get a helmet light, but I have one now. Yeah, I'm rocking like an eclectic mix. Interestingly enough, the original armor you get, I think it's the primal armor, where you just is essentially like what you would do for not padded, just clothes really. So it's like wood and grass fiber and shit like that. And the armor on it is actually pretty damn good, and it's a light armor as well, so it's quite impressive. I can see some people rocking like tier 6 primal armor. The only problem with it is it doesn't give you any bonuses, so yeah. But it does give you a hefty amount of armor for what it is, and I was quite impressed by that. I was like, I'm not taking a whole bunch of damage. It's not just because I'm playing it on pussy difficulty. It's normally more than that. So it does its job, definitely, when it comes to armor. The boxes are upgradable, so I think it's 10 steel or 10 iron each. You know, bars, not just regular iron. What it does is it obviously increases the box's durability and also the storage capacity and changes the look of it, which is cool. There's going to be a lot of people out there going, well, I could just make another box out of wood if I need more storage. And yeah, fair enough, you can. But I kind of like it. Plus, you know, I already have a wall of boxes because of the way I like labeling shit up and keeping things separate, so there you go.
Or buy.
It would be such an issue if I had wireless crafting enabled and then it would just pull it from any box I wanted, but I kind of need to know where to go rather than rooting through the 15 boxes with nothing on them and all mixed up and shit. So there's that. It's just, it is quite strange to play vanilla as well. I mean, I normally play modded. I did a long time playing Darkness Falls, so just getting used to trader protection again was a big step when I came back. I was like, I can close the doors and be safe, that's awesome, rather than just have them hammer through it and kill the trader. Anyway, I believe Darkness Falls is going to be updated shortly for it. I know the guy that does it does usually turn it around pretty quick. I know there has been a bit more of a sweeping change this time around to the engine itself and the way it handles mods, so hopefully it won't delay them too long in getting the stuff upgraded. I haven't tried any mods as I've been playing vanilla because I wanted to give a first impression based purely on the release and not what I've made it into. But yeah, I mean, I'm having a good time, and you know, if you've not got it, then I don't know, if you're on PC and you want to try the unstable, that's fine, you can do that. I mean, there's no reason not to wait for the full release. It'd be nice to see it get into the game chart. I mean, after nearly, what, 11 years, something like that? I think it's 11 or 12 years it's been in alpha. You know, finally to actually get a full release is pretty cool. It's not the end either. It's not like they'll be stopping support and there's a load more editions that are coming out. Some of them I like the sound of, some I'm not so keen on. For instance, they're adding a story mode to it, which is cool, and I'd be definitely up for that. Being a story-based gamer, it's kind of like been missing from the game for me, so that's cool. And they're also going to put like bandits in, which I'm less okay with. I hope there's an option to like turn it off. I'll try it obviously, but for me, it's all about fighting the zombies. I mean, for me, all the Walking Dead shit is like least interesting when it's all about like other people and not like struggling against the zombies. That's just my personal taste though, and like avoiding a zombie that's just flapping his wrists at you is a bit different than avoiding a bandit with a machine gun. And there's mods out there already if you want that sort of thing, so yeah. I just don't know. They've implemented a new challenge mechanic as well, which kind of takes the initial place of the tutorial. And what you'll do is you'll do a set amount of challenges. There's tons of different sort of what's the term I'm looking for? Sort of categories. There you go. There's a ton of different categories. So you've got like your initial one, and you've got like doing missions for traders. There's that one for that, finding traders. So it's kind of like the trader one. Tons of different ones, and you've got sort of an advanced one as well with another load of them. And once you've done all of them apart from the M1, you just go to the trader and he'll reward you from there. The rewards, while not being as super useful as they once were, they definitely have nerfed that. It's still really useful because, as you know, in any 7 Days to Die experience, that early game is a bastard until you find a cooking pot. Cooking pot is like so important, and the traders sell them for 600, but like that's like tier 1 jobs. That's like 3 or 4 of them, man. You got enough time to do that in a day? And I doubt it. So, you know, occasionally I've had to take food or water from them, which is never good, but whatever. But like once you get going, man. They still haven't fixed the problem with all cabinets being considered kitchen cabinets. So if you open up a cabinet in a bathroom or a garage, you'll probably find food or cookery books in it, or rotted flesh, you know, because it thinks it's a kitchen cabinet. I think they need to sort that out. It's not a huge problem, and it certainly helps being able to cook more shit earlier on and sort of get you up to the coffee, red tea, bacon and eggs sort of level quite quickly. And you know, when you're having like I am, when I've increased like the loot, it's not uncommon to find 4 cooking books in a cupboard. Like I'm like almost done with the cookery tree because of that. It's ridiculous. But, you know, I've changed the settings, so I can't really moan at the game about that. That's just me trying to, like, see as much as I can early game. But, yeah, so that's my observations about version 1.0. I think there's more good than bad in it. The only real outright bad thing that it's not subjective is really the bug with the ladders, I think. That needs to be fixed if it hasn't been already. Because it's just so annoying. I mean, I'll try and get the bit. I did capture me missing a ladder in the footage. Yes, I've still got the damn cough a little bit. Annoying, but it is what it is. So I'll show you me flailing at a ladder and then falling off and then having to run back around about 4 times before I think, fuck it, I'll just build a block across to it. And then I fell off and broke my leg when a fucking spider zombie jumped at me like a twat. Oh well. Broken legs are like the worst thing in the game. Worst thing. I have noticed that honey seems to be a lot less rare. I would say out of the stumps that I've cracked open, I'm probably getting honey out of about half of them. I don't know whether I've just gotten lucky or whether that's actually a change they made, but it does seem to be less rare. Forge Ahead books have been made more rare though, so you're not guaranteed like a Forge Ahead book out of a cement mixer anymore. You might still get one, or you may not. I think that's another deliberate effort to like slow down your progression, which, you know, they came out and said that that's what they intended to do, and you know, I can see the point of it. I do get invested. Just bear in mind, if you do try the unstable alpha, they could wipe it, so your save might disappear. Or it might become incompatible with the current build, so just bear that in mind. Know that, you know, whatever you're doing on it, you might have to lose it, which would be unfortunate, but it's an unstable alpha. You play at your own risk, so there you go. Anyway guys, that's me done for the day. Take it easy, and I'll catch you next time.